AITA, I told my overweight coworker if she ate like me she would look like me. Alright, throwaway account, mostly because I'm at work and can't remember what my actual login is. I, 25F, have been pretty skinny all my life. I eat healthy most of the time, exercise regularly, not consume my weight in Pop-Tarts, a real problem in college. I also don't think I'm better than fat people. I think obesity is a complex issue and merely reducing the obesity epidemic to move more, eat less doesn't take into account the socioeconomic complexities, mental health issues, physical health issues, etc. I don't make comments like OMG I'm so fat when I eat a slice of cake. I don't talk about going on diets. I don't judge other people's food choices. I don't really care about what you eat. About 6 months ago, a coworker named Diane, 40F, transferred to our office. We are essential, so no work from home. She's overweight and has constantly made remarks about my food choices. If I eat a salad, she'll talk about how I have an eating disorder and promote toxic diet culture. She'll say my body is unnatural and real women have curves. One time she even tried to make a case that the reason I'm still single is because men don't find my skinny body attractive. Sometimes, though, she'll do a complete 180. She'll make remarks about how it must be nice to be young with a metabolism like mine, or to have genetics that allow me to eat whatever I want without gaining an ounce. Lady, weren't you just calling me anorexic yesterday because I had a salad for lunch? This constant harassment has really been getting to me. I feel like I can't eat in the office anymore. I have tried to get this to stop. I have told her firmly to stop. I have told her politely to stop. I have ignored her. I even went to HR and was told this wasn't harassment, so they couldn't do anything about it. Well, this all came to a head today. Ever since my first job, I have brought in spooky Rice Krispie treats on the first day of October. They're just dyed orange and green with pumpkin and Frankenstein faces on them. I grabbed one and Diane said, I wish I could eat like you and still look like you. I said, if you ate like me you probably would look like me, grabbed another and walked back to my desk. Honestly, I didn't feel like I was the butthole, until another coworker said that what was extremely hurtful to Diane. When I pointed out that she had been bullying me since she got here, the coworker told me it wasn't the same. That it would be like using a racial slur against an African American bully. I went too far because I can't possibly understand the discrimination overweight women face, and I should have found another way to deal with it. I'll admit, having never been fat myself, I don't know the full extent of discrimination against fat people, and I do not want to stoop to the levels of bigots. But how else am I supposed to deal with this? So, random strangers on the internet, AITA? NTA. Holy F. Equating racism with what you said tells you all you need to know. That person's opinion is invalid. More people need to stand up for themselves like you did. Good on you, champion. Exactly, this is harassment as someone that's worked in HR. Tell them if they won't take it seriously, maybe their boss will, or someone with the state labor board will take it seriously. That should snap them into gear. Harassing someone about their weight is not okay. You should feel safe going to work and eating what you want. Yeah, I was going to say, sounds like creating a hostile work environment, which is grounds for termination where I work. My work says it's only a hostile work environment if what they're doing leads to demotions or other employment actions, and only a supervisor can create a hostile work environment. They gave a whole class on it since so many people kept reporting hostile work environments. So weird. WTF? That's crap. I'm sorry, your workplace is dumb. This is how my workplace defines it: hostile work environment, harassment, intimidation, retaliation or discrimination, hurt, that permeates the work environment, or is directed at another individual through behaviors, actions or communications, and interferes with the individual's ability to perform his or her job. Harassment, unwelcome or offensive verbal or physical conduct toward an individual that adversely and unreasonably affects the employment relationship or working environment. I guess I should consider myself lucky. NTA. She is bullying you, and because she's overweight, it's fine? Like, when did that become a thing? Yes, you could have just ignored her, but hey, if she can't take it, she shouldn't dish it. Op's comment wasn't even that rude. She didn't call her a fatty or go on and on about weight. She gave a quick, probably correct, quip and moved on. If original post had said it out of the blue to that single comment from Diane, yeah, it'd be pretty damn rude. But given that it was just one more comment from Diane in a long-running diatribe that original post has repeatedly tried to shut down, it was well-deserved and not rude in the context of Diane being such an ass. How would it have been rude though? It's Diane who compared their eating habits. Even if it were a single incident, I don't see how original post would have been in the wrong for saying that. It's not like she insulted her or anything. That's what they clarified though at the beginning of their comment. If someone makes a remark like that in a vacuum, it would be rude. Imagine some random skinny person walking up to a random fat person and saying, "Hey, I'm Margaret, BTW if you ate like me you'd probably look like me." But it wasn't in a vacuum. So it wasn't rude at all, but rather well deserved. This distinction seems irrelevant to make, but it gives context as to how someone might have perceived original post as rude without knowing the context. Although, it's still kind of an irrelevant distinction, because original post explained the context to their other coworker and they were still brain-dead enough to think it was rude anyway. So I guess the distinction is just making a qualitative judgment on the sentiment itself. It's a rude sentiment in a vacuum, but it checks out here, so it shouldn't be controversial that original post is NTA. Oh okay, I get it. So you didn't mean if this was Diane's only remark, but if original post had just said that out of nowhere. Yeah, I completely agree, that would have been unwarranted snarky advice. People still not realizing skinny shaming is shaming, shaking my head. Agreed. My best friend is quite overweight, growing up with food insecurity, like original post said, it can be lots of things, and I remember in college she started talking crap about a very thin woman in our department because she was eating fruit salad, calling her a skinny bitch etc. and I was just like, you're a lunatic. Fruit is delicious and healthy, you effing love fruit. Why do you care? Just stop. I was also friends with a thin woman and happened to know that she was very insecure about her body too. We all need to mind our business and enjoy our salad and Pop-Tarts in equal measure. I used to be huge. I've dropped down to 130 these days. I went to lunch and was shamed for choosing a salad over a burger. I responded back that when I ate burgers, I weighed 230 pounds. I got called bad for apparently fat shaming her and got a huge lecture about how I'm promoting unrealistic body standards. It doesn't matter if I'm fat or thin, women will shame just because they'd rather blame me than admit their nutrition and eating habits might be the problem. I just ignore them now because I feel healthy and that's all that matters. I had a friend in college who was super skinny and would constantly have people telling her she's too skinny and must have an eating disorder and it's so unhealthy. But she didn't have an eating disorder. She'd seen doctors about her weight and they could find nothing wrong with her, she was just naturally very skinny. This constant assumption by other people, both friends, and complete strangers at times, would drive her to almost cry out of frustration and embarrassment, even though she was the most chill, upbeat person I've probably ever met. Leave people alone about their weight. It doesn't become some sort of compliment just because it's not fat shaming. That's exactly how my body type was until I had a child, and the amount of passive-aggressive comments I got from other women, almost never men, was unreal. Thank you, from a tiny person, who is also insecure about being skinny. I've been both and it sucks, it feels like you can't win sometimes. I was a size 0 for most of my high school years and was on an I want it, I eat it mode. Good metabolism, I guess. I started gaining weight and curves in college with no change in my portions or what I eat. Some family member subtly tells me how I look so much healthier now and make allusions to how I was anorexic. Oh, it's so good to see you eat like this. No wonder girls and women feel so bad in their skin. I was size 0 when I was 21. Now I'm much bigger, but way healthier. Hooray celiac. Sometimes our bodies just need to do what they do, be they size 0 or size 24. Not the butthole turnabout is fair play here, you told her knock it off repeatedly. She won't quit doing it and HR isn't going to help? I would not call you TA if you started making fat jokes at her in retaliation. It's verbal self-defense as far as I'm concerned. Each time she does it to you, do it right back. You may want to tell HR they're wrong, by the way. Any commentary about your body that if unwanted is sexual harassment. HR doesn't decide what is and is not sh, the law does. Please tell your HR that you've notified them, and due to their inaction you will need to take legal action against her as well as the company for permitting the continuation of a hostile workplace. They'll change their time really fast. Really? I didn't know this counted as sexual harassment. I guess it doesn't feel like sexual harassment to me. The definition is pretty broad actually. It covers everything from just making a sexist joke in your presence to the more extreme overtly sexual things. Commentary about your body can be construed that way. Let me put it this way, I'm male. If I were your colleague and I stared at your body then started commenting on how fit you are, I'm probably a pervy creep, right? Her gender doesn't make that same logic not apply. Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks for letting me know. I'll do some research and see who's next in the chain of HR. Just to clarify, I'm not saying Diane is intending to sexually harass you. I'm only saying that the laws regarding it are super broadly defined. One of the major aspects of it is it's considered even more indefensible on her side if you've directly told her, "Stop, it makes me uncomfortable to have you talk about my body." Send that to her in an email or something you can prove later. That takes away her defense of not realizing you were not receptive to the commentary. Good luck. Plus, any comment about how real women look is definitely a no-no in the workplace. It makes me uncomfortable when coworkers comment on my body. Don't threaten legal action if you're not about to act on it. Not good for your career. Document the problem, with as many examples and dates/times as possible, and email it to them. Write it as though you simply want the problem solved and fully expect them to solve it, so no hostility, especially not towards her. Everything in writing always. In this email, use some close variation of the phrase "give you notice." That magical phrase says potential lawsuit without your having to make any threats, they'll know what's up. She also made a comment on her body and that she was unattractive due to her size and would be unable to attract a partner. Then accused her of having a mental illness. Sexual harassment does not have to feel sexual, and continually commenting on someone's body will qualify in a lot of places. This is a common misconception that can impact anyone. For instance, if a straight man is talking frequently and repeatedly about sexual topics, which makes another guy uncomfortable, the fact that he's a straight man who is probably not attracted at all to another man hearing these things is irrelevant. It's still sexual harassment if he won't stop when asked. Information sourced from the King of the Hill episode in the 90s where Hank gets harassed by a coworker. Tongue. Obviously don't tell them you are going to sue without talking to an actual lawyer first. And still then probably don't sue. Just have the lawyer write HR a letter saying this is real harassment, cut it out, if it is wherever you live. NTA. By making repeated remarks about your body and your eating habits, she was opening herself up to response. It would have been rude for you to say that unprovoked, but pretty reasonable to snap back when someone harasses you constantly. The persistence of the comments, as well as the changing of tactics when one style of harassment failed to get a big response, leads me to think that Diane has been attempting reactive abuse, and finally got the reaction she was pushing for all along. It worked too, because now original post is seen as the aggressor when it's been Diane the whole time, and original post now has others joining Diane in the harassment despite original post being the wronged party. Op should read up on reactive abuse, and use the term, if applicable, when talking to HR. They tend to not terms like abuse. My experience with HR is that they will protect whichever party can get them in the most trouble should they fail them. Going to HR with a document that lists your previous conversations with both them and Diane, and now the new abuser, as well as listing the points of discussion for the meeting you are having is helpful. Having an area for them to date and sign the document with a statement that signing it merely acknowledges that you related everything on said document is aces. Showing up prepared not only for the conversation, but also to have proof of the conversation points when the meeting is over tells them that you are keeping evidence of wrongdoing, which they can assume translates to potential litigation for failing you. It's a strong motivator to keep your best interests in mind. True story. Older women, not all but everyone knows the type, in offices may just want to play games, especially with younger, thinner women. She wanted to get ammo to be the victim because she's broken and silly games are all she has. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.